Okay, legends, welcome back to the channel with another Street Fighter Duel video. Now, we have the anniversary going on, we have a new character going on, actually two characters are going newly to the game, which is, I think, DJ, and we have the new Horror Oni, and this is what I wanted to talk about. Now, I wanted just to tell everybody, it's a decent character, it's nice, it looks nice, the art is nice, everything about him looks good. Let me go and show you this beast. Yeah, he doesn't look like a fighter. He looks like more like Blanca, you know, a monster from another realm. But it's good. Horror Oni is a tank. He's from a Thunder faction. We'll be talking about him. Let's go and talk about him from the gallery. Is he a must? Should you summon for him? He's a Thunder faction, by the way. No, I wouldn't say so. Now, of course, he's one of the best damage dealers as a tank can go in the game. Blanca, we had that as the legendary Blanca. And we have now, who is a good tank that deals damage? Maybe it's Rich Honda. He's the best damage dealer. I don't know how much we can do with this. I've done some testing. He does good amount of numbers. Survivability wise, he's okay. Is he a must on your account as an account? I don't think so. So far, I don't know for bossing. I didn't test him for bossing as maximum investment or something like that. I think he will do fine. He will be decent. But he's not a must-have. If you're continuing building your Rich Hondas, your Overlord Bison, your Visconde Vega, maybe the new Cammy, the carry Cammy that they dropped. Also, she would be nice. Rose. Also, Rose is good. The Thunder faction Rose. I mean, he's a trigger character, which is easier to play with, that you can just use his super and you can go with. But I'll be talking in general about him. His stats are nice, actually. He has high stats. So if you want to go and look about CP and you want to build characters just for CP for your account to look massively bigger, yes, he's another character to go with. So let's talk about his passive first. So Ultra Shock. Normal attacks inflict shock, which is good. It's consistent with inflicting shock. You can play shock team, and we know that shock is the best debuff in the entire game so far. Okay, because it's the highest multiplier in damages that goes. So normal attacks inflict shock on their targets. This effect does not require the passive skill to be... I don't know why they're writing this suddenly. So even if you didn't level him up, this passive works for some reason. Every 5 shock inflicted by Horror Oni will be converted into Ultra Shock. And we'll be talking about that in a minute. And stun the target for 1 second, which doesn't work on bosses, but it works for story. It does work for PvP. I'm yet to see him in PvP. I think we have Showdown right now, so we can test with this a little bit. So, Horror Oni will recover 10% of maximum HP, obtain a shield equal to 10% of his maximum HE, and increase the shield of all friendly fighters by 5%, stacking up to 50%. Now, if you're playing Abel's, Able shields does not get affected. Yes, they will take the 5%, but it doesn't mean that it will be better. Able shields are a one-time trigger. It means whenever they get hit and they have the shield will take all the damage, absorb it, and remove the shield. So you can have 2 stacks of that shield. If you're playing 2 Ables together, you might have 3 up to 4 stacks, different stacks of shields. It means 2 from Suit Able, 2 from Normal Able, which we do that a lot right now, especially free to play, because we don't have the perfect bossing teams with the legendary units. So at level 2, upon inflicting Ultra Shock, Horror Oni defense also will increase by 8%, stacking up to 80%. Upon inflicting Ultra Shock, Horror's Oni crit resist will increase by 5 and up to 50%. And then the effect resist will go by 5% up to 50%. In general, it looks good. Now, if you have his EX move upgraded to 3 stars and you equip it by him, his damage reduction will be increased by 3% up to 30%, which is absolutely nice. And he will actually deal more damages with his normal attacks, which is good because his damages, base damages and resistance will increase. So he's a late game unit for damages, so for mitigation damage, so for more defense, crit resistance and everything. So you need to go 2 or 3 rounds with him, or 3 rotations, so he can absorb damages and stay surviving. Now, I did test him on many lineups. I did test him on my friend's account. Big thank you to Zuzu. He helped me out. He gave me his account and I played, and oh my god, this guy cannot survive. I played him with Goken and I played him with Trendy Ryu. And he dealt the most damages because he was the only damage dealer. And we played normal Elena on the lineup for healings. So we did play Elena for the C1. We did play Goken for his passive, and we did play a C2. So we didn't play a C3 because basically with him, you can run him without a C3. So you can play a super from him, C1 from somebody else, C2 from somebody else, and he will trigger his passives with his C3. I'll read it now and I'll explain it for you. So let's go for his Thunder Beam, his super. It's interesting because I like the Thunder Beam. It's something that enables him. So fire a Thunder Beam that strikes all enemies in a straight line 3 times, okay? Each time it deals, or each strike of thunder damage is equal to 205%. That's up to 615%, which is really good. Of his attack, so it's not of his defense. At the first strike inflicts Ultra Shock, so you're always inflicting Ultra Shock every single time you're gonna do your ultimate, which is great. It's not that bad, and you have a chance to also stun them, I think, if you get the 5 stacks of thunder. While he does thunder also as well. So gain super armor while unleashing the skill. It means he can't be interrupted, he can be still stunned and shocked or charmed. The first strike inflicts thunder vulnerability. We'll be talking about that in a second. Increase the number of strikes to 4. So he goes up to 4 times by attack. And each strike of thunder damage or deals thunder damage equal to 215% of his attack. That's great. I love that he deals a lot of damage. But I don't know. As a tank, his multiplier, or he has high, they gave him high attack boost. But his base attack is still lower than his base HP and base defense for a tank because they gave it to a tank higher. I don't know. I think I need a lot of testing with this one. So the thunder vulnerability increase thunder damage taken by 10% for 8 seconds. Anybody that take or deals thunder damage. This is why I say he might be good with thunder carries such as Guile, trendy Guile, I think. It would be awesome. Now, can you play him with Rose? No, Rose is another trigger character, so you need a C1, C2, and a C3. And if you are playing 2 trigger characters or a Jury, the baddest Jury, she's also a trigger character, that won't work with that. And yeah, do not try to play 2 triggers. I mean, trying to play 2 triggers is kind of like killing one of the units because you're not gonna be able to commit to a C3. So Ultra Shock. Targets take thunder damage equal to 10% of the attack for each attack received. That's not bad, actually. For each attack received. So even if you're not hitting with thunder with another unit, they will take extra damage by 10% of attack. Stacks up to 10 times and lasts until the end of the battle. This is for bossing. I think this is... because it stays until the end of the battle. You can do 10 Ultra Shock and then deal extra 100% damages. I think this is absolutely fantastic. This is amazing for bosses. I don't know. Maybe you can use him as a replacement. Not a replacement for Rich Honda, but maybe an addition on the lineup for Rich Honda. I don't know. Because Rich Honda, you require his super to start so you can decrease the damage reduction for the bosses. This one will increase the damages taken by the bosses until the end of the battle, which is absolutely fantastic. I don't know how good this will be. I need to test more and more. I did test a lot, and I did test him in bossing as well. He gave great numbers. We replaced him by Rich Honda, by the way. Instead of Rich Honda, we started with his super. He did decent damages. And the team did a lot of damage, actually. But Rich Honda still gave us the upper hand. I'm gonna do more testing. Maybe in a lineup that I use Rich Honda and I use him on the same lineup, that would give me an advantage. I still need to do more testing with that. So his first skill... Of course, it's trigger skill, so until you unleash combo 1, he unleashes this one. So taunt all enemies for 6 seconds, and this is what I don't like at the start of the battle, because if you taunt all enemies and they attack you and you don't have all these massive stacks, or you don't have somebody else to protect you under your lineup, he absolutely gets screwed. He gets one shot. Because he's not this he's a tank built on to deal damage, not to absorb damages, unless you ramp up his stacks. So also gain a Thunder Shield equal to 20% of maximum HP, and he's not built on maximum HP. He has a lot of HP, by the way. His all stats are good, especially that they buffed him with attack. We'll be talking about that when we go to his EX skill. Yeah, for 6 seconds, and for 6 seconds, when this fighter is attacked, there's a 30% base chance to inflict shock on the enemies, which make him more consistent, actually, to inflict these shock stacks, so you can deal more damages with other units, which is great. Viper will be super happy here because she does shock as well with the C3. Upon unleashing this skill, gain 15% damage reduction for 6 seconds. That's great. Increase the chance of inflicting a shock to 40%. Also grant the shield to all friendly fighters for 6 seconds. When friendly fighters are attacked, there is a 20% base chance of inflicting shock as well on the attackers, which is absolutely nice. I like this mechanic that is way super consistent with shock. You're not gonna run out of shocks. This is absolutely nice. Now, this is what I'm talking about, his C3, which is, I love this mechanic because it's not, right now, it's not like you need to press a C3 with another character so he unleashes his C3. No, whenever you press a C2 with another character, he releases his C3. So, as you see here in the description, unleashes automatically after teammate performs combo 2, does not affect combo 3. That's absolutely fantastic. So, you can use him without using a C3 on your lineup. Because I did test that and it worked for me and the lineup survived and we did kill a lot of units. Now his weaknesses is the double bison team. You need somebody to actually bypass immunities to kill like Michelangelo or a bison. So you can go through this one and he can easily be shut down, this Horror Oni, but by one slap, by Zangief, of course, because negating passives. And he absolutely does nothing. Does nothing except, I think, when you do the C1, so when he triggers and taunts, then you're gonna inflict shock on everybody else. But he shuts down his passive, he doesn't get any resistance at all. Oh boy, oh boy. So, what his C3 does is jump and perform a spinning kick, which deals a lot of damage, by the way. That strikes 5 times. Each strike deals thunder damage equal to 112% of attack and has a 30% base chance to inflict shock. Gains 30% damage reduction while unleashing this skill. Gain 30% increase in pressure while unleashing this skill. It means he counters dodge effects and stuff like that, and he gives himself damage reduction. Increase each strike of thunder damage, or increases each strike's thunder damage to 136% of attack, and base chance inflict shock goes up to 40%, which is decent. Okay, let's talk about his fighting spirit right now, and this is what I want to show you. So if you're gonna look at him, he's a tank, right? His attack is absolutely huge. This is a plus 40, of course, we're gonna get it to plus 30. People who wanna go for plus 40, that's up to you, which is okay, it's decent. And the damage reduction goes to 10%. I think it's 5% or something at 30. Let me know in the comment if you did get that. So HP bonus, 23%. Defense, 33, which he needs a lot of defense and HP. Attack at 37%, because this guy hits for like a truck. He deals a lot of damage. And damage reduction, 10%. So upon entering the battle, inflict 1 ultra shock. This lasts until the end of the battle on 1 random enemy fighter, and at plus 10 it goes for every enemy fighter. So his assist, if the assisted fighter is deployed in the starting team, not in tag position, they will gain a shield equal to 20% of maximum HP and inflict ultra shock on all enemy fighters. So even if you don't play him, this is the cool thing about him, his assist is really, really cool. So if you don't play him, or if you didn't put him on your main lineup, if you don't want to use him or upgrade him to the maximum, you can get him to SS, play him as an assist, and he will be basically good on any lineup because he will inflict this ultra shock until the end of the battle. It cannot be dispelled, and you'll deal extra 10% more damage of your attack from any target, from any character. So every character on your lineup, their attack will be increased by 10% by default, which is good. Upon entering the battle, inflict ultra shock on 1 random enemy fighter, triggers 2 times. 2 times, it means, okay, 2 units will be infected, not everybody. So but he can inflict it more and more and more and more if he's on the lineup. But if he's in assist position, everybody on your enemy lineup will get 1 ultra shock, which is cool. So plus 20 recover 200 super combo gauge after unleashing Thunder Beam, which is his ultimate or his super, which is really good. At plus 30 gains 80% increase in defense and 10% increase in damage reduction for 20 seconds after entering the battle. So it's for 20 seconds, up to 20 seconds, and then he will be protecting himself, which is, I mean, 80% in defense is really good. Unless you're playing somebody that ignores defenses and immunities, that would be like useless for him. And damage reduction is the good thing because it's 10%. I hope it was 50%. That would make him actually a good tank for 20 seconds at least into the fight. So his cars, we're gonna be talking about it. 3 ARA, 3 cars. Upon entering the battle, grant all other friendly fighters shields equal to 20% of maximum HP and share 15% of the damage that they receive. Now this is why I paired him up with Trendy Ryu, the damage sharing, so he soaks 15% of all of the damages taken to your lineup, plus Trendy Ryu, if you have him on the lineup, he will soak also a lot of damages by damage sharing. So it means they share their damages between each other. It means you can protect more and more your lineup, which is decent. I love the concept of damage sharing, but we need damage immunity, so it makes it more viable and reliable, and this is why we can't play him without playing Trendy Ryu so far as a unit that will save him on the lineup. 6 out of 6. Every 5 seconds deals normal attack damage to the enemy fighter with the highest HP percentage and trigger the special effects, recover 50 super combo gauge and inflict 1 shock on the enemy with the highest HP percentage, which is kind of targeting the tanks if you might look at it on this way. So he kind of like, I don't think his 6 out of 6 is very, very important, but it's a consistent for bossing, I would say, because he will go and attack and inflict shock. So it 100% guarantee you the shock, by the way. I didn't think that it would do that, but it does that, which is absolutely nice. Now we have his soul power, of course. You're gonna upgrade, so I'm not gonna talk about the second upgrade. We all gonna upgrade to the second upgrade, but the third upgrade, if you want to do it, it's for PvP, so it will increase the damages in PvP and reduce the damages taken in PvP, and he increases his effect accuracy. It means more shock inflicted, which is really nice. Everything about him is effect accuracy. Decent character. Yes, he's so good, because every character, like, even if we look here, what's the worst unit that we can think about? Goken? Nah, not Goken. Akuma. Akuma is the worst unit here. Goken is one of the best units in the game. Akuma is the worst unit. Still, he's okay. He's better than the basic units that they give us. Maybe, I can't say anybody bad. Even bad is Juri. Even if that's super bad, she still deals a lot of damages. So there's no very bad unit for the... Yeah, okay, you can build him, you can summon for him, but I would not recommend that. I'm going and building my Goken because I want to finish him. Decent unit, but yeah, I wouldn't recommend anybody to go ham on him. Let's talk about his EX move. I mean, it's okay. Where is it? Here it goes. Okay. Let's read it from here. Where's the EX move? Oh, I hate to scroll. Okay, here we go. So, good base stats, HP, defense, and damage reduction. Very defensive one. Okay, all friendly fighters gain shield equal to 20% of maximum HP for 15 seconds. This is when you drop it, when you activate it for 15 seconds. They also gain 10% damage, increase in damage reduction, and 20% increase in effect accuracy. It means if you're playing somebody that stuns or do anything inflicting debuffs, it will be good. And receives 10% less soul damage. Okay, you counter a little bit of soul damage. This skill inflicts 2 shock on all enemies. You also inflict shock. I think this is decent for shock teams. And increased thunder damage they receive by 10% for 15 seconds. Absolutely nice. Absolutely. Viper will feel so much good with him on the lineup, actually. Viper will love this. Inflicts 4 shock on all enemies at 1 star. Increase the thunder damage received by the fighters by 20%. Yes, Viper will love this one. Friendly fighters gain 40% increase in effect accuracy and receive 20% less soul damage. Counters Bison a little bit. Not Bison, but any unit that does soul damage, it counters the damages a little bit. That's it. When you click it, it's not like for infinite, it's like for 10 seconds. Increase the shield by 40% of maximum HP and damage reduction. Now, when you say shield, it's not shield of Oni's shields or the max HP. You increase the shield by your max HP on every unit that you have, which is decent if you're playing a full team of tanks, which will be kind of crazy. Increase the thunder damage received by enemy fighters by 30%, also increases the damage received by 30%, which is decent. I think this is a cool EX. I would 100% summon for it, actually, to get it. Let me go and check if I can get it right now. I mean, I'm not that lucky, but if I can get it, I can play it on any Viper lineup. I want these EX to play them on Viper lineups, because Viper actually is one of... she's free to play, and here we go, we got it. Wow, I'm getting them early every single time. I mean, Viper is another unit that... Let me change this so I don't forget. I need to summon you. I still don't have you, so we're gonna do that later. Yeah, as I said, Viper is a unit for free to play, especially like me, or for low spenders, is a unit that we still use in PvP in some aspects, and we use in bossing in some aspects. Yeah, as in general, in total, Would I recommend summoning for him? Now, if you're a low spender or if you're a whale, in my opinion, and I don't say that a lot, I think you should have him. You should go at least for one copy, or not one copy, for SS for him. I think he would be super helpful for you. I think he will have a blow up on bossing meta. I think he will be one of the best bossing units if we find the comp for him, because everything that he's built on is for bossing and buffing your damages and inflicting the debuff until the end of the battle. For PvP, I think he needs a lot of work to get him a good team. Some of the other people like Stupendous will find something in the future. I will do my best, but I don't think that I will find anything because I'm not gonna max him on my account. And yeah, for free to play, yeah, absolutely build your characters, finish them, then go for different characters, luxury characters. This one I will call him a luxury character, because he needs maximum investment if you want to play him. Other units like Rich Honda doesn't need maximum investment. Visconde Vega does require it. SS maybe for Overlord Bison, and then he will be better. Yeah, Eva Ryu, he's good at every stage until you max him out. He's good at every stage. Yeah, that was it for the video. I'll be seeing you in the next one. Time to fly, time to fly.